Happy Tuesday. The word for you today, May 21st, keep your conscience clear. You ever had a guilty conscience? Those nights when maybe you toss and you turn and because there's something that's just bothering you. You know you shouldn't have done something, or you know you were supposed to have done something and you hadn't done it. In 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 18 and 19, Paul is giving some advice to Timothy. He says, Timothy, my son, I give you this instruction in keeping with the prophecies once made about you, so that by following them you may fight the good fight, holding on to faith and a good conscience. Some have rejected these and so have shipwrecked their faith. Paul's encouraging Timothy, and he gives him two orders and one warning. So let's take a look at first the two orders and then the warning. He says, Timothy, holding on to faith. Paul's telling Timothy to hold on to that faith. Why is he telling him that? Because he knows Timothy is going to run into things that's going to make him want to quit. He's going to want to run away. It's going to get tough. It's going to be hard, and he's not going to want to stick with it. You say, like what? Well, persecution, people coming against him, discouragement. Things aren't working like they're supposed to. Our expectations are not being met. Sometimes we just get tired. I'm sure Timothy got very tired. Paul says, Timothy, when you're persecuted, when you get discouraged, when you get tired, Timothy, hold on to your faith. And the second order that he gives him is keep a good conscience. You know, as pain lets the body know that something's wrong, if my toe is hurting, I'm thinking, okay, why is it hurting? And I look down and I'm standing on a tack. Okay, I'm going to do something about that. Just as pain lets the body know that something is wrong, our conscience lets our soul know that something is wrong. To ignore our conscience is to be lazy in our faith. When our conscience is bothering us, we need to figure out why it is and then do something about that. So we hold on to faith. Paul tells Timothy, hold on to your faith when you get tired, when you're discouraged, when you're facing persecution. Hold on to that faith. And Timothy, keep a good conscience. Listen to your conscience. If your conscience is bothering you, find out why and do something about it. And then he gives him a warning. He said, some have rejected these, holding on to faith, keeping a good conscience, and so have shipwrecked their faith. This happens when we let little things go. On March 26, 2024, just not too long ago, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland was hit and destroyed. Several people lost their lives, workmen working on the bridge at the time they were repairing the road. This happened when a barge lost power and slowly began moving off course. Now, there was a path that the barge could take that would safely take it under and past the bridge. But with the loss of power, the captain couldn't steer the barge safely under the bridge. And it went off course and it went over and crashed into one of the supports, which caused the bridge to tumble into the river. The same thing happens in our lives. Little things that we just let go. Maybe we just tell a little lie. But then somebody else asks a question and we've got to tell another lie to cover that one up. Or maybe we let our eyes wander to something that we shouldn't be seen and we linger there a little too long. And the next thing you know, we're looking longer and longer. Or maybe our mind, we're letting our mind go someplace where it shouldn't go. And it starts off just a few seconds and then a minute or two. And then next thing you know, it's several minutes. The next thing you know, it becomes a habit. Our conscience is telling us the whole time, hey, something's wrong, something's wrong. Just like that tack that you toe in your toe. You can enjoy the pain or you can get the tack. You step off of the tack. Well, it's the same way with our conscience. We can enjoy the guilt that we feel, or we can recognize our conscience is telling us something and we need to change it. There was a man named George Fox. He was the founder of the Quakers. A man named William Penn was one of his students, and Penn grew up in a wealthy class and had the best education available. He was also enlisted in the army. Two of the great Quaker contributions, George Fox, was their teaching on pacifism, refusal to use violence. And the second thing was equality, abolishing class distinction. Well, Penn was 23 when he became a Quaker, and he wore a sword. And the reason he wore a sword was the people in his social class, they did that. That was a sign of their social class. Also, it was used to fight with. The two things that the Quakers were most against. And it bothered Penn, that his conscience was bothering him. And so he went to George Fox and said, is it okay if I wear this sword? And George Fox looked at him and he said, he didn't say, no, you have to get rid of it. He said, wear it as long as you can, William. Wear it as long as you can. Hear what he was saying? He was saying, William, if you're really sincere in your faith, then your conscience will let you know whether you can continue to wear that sword or not. If you continue to wear that sword, then you're probably not sincere in your faith. He didn't say that, but that's what William would understand. He would hear. Well, it's the same way in our lives. Is there anything in your life today that you're doing that you know is wrong? You know it's wrong. And your conscience is telling you it's wrong. Let me ask you, do you have the strength to say, no, I'm not going to do that anymore? I'm going to listen to my conscience and I'm going to be free from that guilt? Yes, you do have that. As a believer in Jesus Christ, you have that power. So the question is, will you? Will you say, no, I'm not going to do that anymore? Conscience, you're letting me know that what I'm doing is hurting me. I'm not going to do that anymore. Is there anything in your life that's giving you trouble? If there isn't, praise God. Enjoy a clear conscience. Sleep well tonight. But if it's bothering you, find out why and then make that change. Make that change. Just as Paul instructed Timothy, hold on to your faith, keep a clear conscience. We're to do the same. Have a good day.